How did she get really nice men to marry her? Well, easy. My mother was married 5 times, to my knowledge. She was married 5 times, and she had 1 domestic partner, so 6 marriages essentially. Out of those 6, 4 died while living with her, 1 of cancer, just for the little backstory. The men that I knew, so my dad, who I came to know in my adult life, and that's a whole story in and of itself. And I did have a really good relationship with him up until the day that he passed away, and I'm very grateful for that. My first stepdad, my second stepdad, I lived with both of them, so I knew them quite well. The third one I met just kind of a handful of times, and he actually said to me the first time that I met him, as soon as she was out of earshot, you were just a little girl. None of this was your fault. None of what happened was your fault. I want you to know that. And if I knew then what I know about your mother now, I would have never married her. So that was a really incredibly validating exchange, or exchange is the wrong word. That was a really validating moment for me. Completely unexpected. And I carry it in a very deep place in my heart today. And then this last one, who I never met or had interaction with, but as I understand it, because I hear things, he was a lovely man. How did she get them to marry her? Well, 1, because they were lovely men. They were men who walked through life providing for others, being kind to others, being solid human beings. And because they walked through life that way, I don't think they could imagine that anybody else didn't. You know, we project what we know, right? So if you know, those people who are like, who cheat on every partner they've ever had, and then they accuse their partner as being cheats. You know, we walk through life with the expectation of who we are to be reflected back to us. And so my mother, who's a terrific information gatherer, she's a con artist. She loves to scam people. She loves to hurt people. And in order to do that, she has to be a really good information gatherer. All she needed to do with these very wide open, kind men is gather a little information regarding what their wounds were and what they were looking for. And that is what she became, the healer of their wounds and whatever they were looking for. And that's what predators do. I always take exception, I like the word police, when people say, I attract narcissists, I attract abusive people. I must have a sticker on my head that says, come and get me, I like this kind of thing. I let it happen. No. People like my mother, people who want to hurt people, people that are predatory, they don't get attracted to you. They look for you. And little by little, they test you to see if you have the ability or the desire to create boundaries around how they are showing up or not showing up for you. And the people who don't show good, strong, healthy boundaries out of the gate are the people that they grab onto the hardest. They don't like to work. These are fundamentally lazy people. They don't want to work for their supply or their food. So they're always going to go to the path of least resistance. And least resistance looks like not throwing up boundaries. And that's why it's very important for us to have boundaries for ourselves that we live by, so that we are safe from individuals like this. And that's not to say that we'll ever be 100% safe or bulletproof, because I don't think that exists. I'm a therapist. I work in this field. And I lived with somebody about 5 years ago who, looking backwards, I think, I'm not a diagnostician, was a malignant narcissist. He was also an alcoholic who hid his alcoholism very, very well. And it ended with an assault. I'm not bulletproof. And if I'm not, like, this is what I do day in and day out. I don't beat myself up for that, by the way. He didn't come with the warning label of the red flags that I look for. He didn't love bomb. There's certain things he didn't do that would have maybe allowed me to know what I was getting into. And we moved in during COVID times, which made him be much more covert. All this to be said, maybe it goes back to that thing, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Because my mother would be, it's too good to be true. And I know for a fact, like my second stepfather, she assaulted him. I saw the marks on his face and he told me. I remember ways that she would manipulate him and make him teeny tiny, I also remember how affectionate she was with my first stepfather when they first got together. And then that devolved into anytime he would even try to hold her hand, like in the car and I was in the back seat, she would be like, grossed out by him, repulsed by him, and treat him in a way to let him know that it wasn't like a moment where she didn't feel like being touched or maybe she was angry about something. No, she let him know that he was repulsive. And I would sit there in the back seat and I remember feeling so sorry for him and also feeling like, yep, that's about right. I don't even try to do that. Well, I didn't want to touch her. She made me kiss her goodnight every night. She made me walk into her bedroom, no matter what. I mean, she would call me in when I would try to escape and just go to bed really quickly. She would call me in, come in, say goodnight. And it would be that voice, and I'd do the death walk. And then she'd look at me and then I'd not do the death walk because I didn't want to be dead. And make me say, I love you, mommy, and kiss her. And if I didn't do it right, I had to do it again. And she always had this disgusting cream on and she would put it on knowing I hated it. Like she couldn't wait for me to come in, say goodnight, and then apply the cream. And she'd be doing it while she was in bed. So it's not like she goes to the bathroom and would be inconvenienced in some way. She would literally be doing it as she's calling me in to say goodnight. Oh, what a piece of human garbage my mother is. I don't know why I'm laughing. And another part of that would be on days that she would really be emotionally violent with me, like destroy my room, call me every name in the book and the whole 9 yards. Those would be the hardest days to have to go in and say, I love you, mommy, and good night. And those would be the days that she would never miss, like did not ever miss those days without fail. They are evil to their core. And because they are so empty, they have no problem lying and misrepresenting themselves because the only thing they care about is getting their own needs met. And their need is driven by wanting to be in control and feel powerful. So thank you for the question. Yeah, she would be the dream girl. And then she turned into a nightmare. That's it in a nutshell.